The Mummy, directed by Alex Kurtzman, who I have no idea what other projects he has done, but he has made this movie. This movie is also starring Tom Cruise, Russell Crowe, and Sofia Boutella, who plays the Mummy. And I really hope I'm pronouncing that last name right. This movie is really the initial start for a whole new dark universe, a monster universe, where there will be Frankenstein, the Invisible Man, Werewolf, Dracula. We already had a Dracula, but they decided to scrap it for some reason because they believed that it wasn't good enough and no one really liked it. And they were hoping that this was going to be the new start, that everyone was going to love it. It was going to be very greatly, widely appreciated from both critics and audience. Well, from critics, it's got a lower rating than Dracula Untold. The story is about Tom Cruise and his buddy who find this random burial site in Mesopotamia known as Iraq, and it's a burial site for a very, very sinister mummy who is played by Sofia Boutella, and I believe the name of the mummy is Ahamet, and she does a really good job. But so what happens? The typical thing. They find it, she awakens, and somehow Tom Cruise and this mummy are soul-tied. They're connected. That's the story. So I'm going to talk about the things that I actually really liked about this film. First of all, obviously, Tom Cruise, Russell Crowe, and Sofia Boutella are terrific in this film. Tom Cruise really gets into character, and he does his own stunts, which is a cool fact that I did not know until literally the day of I was watching it. So kudos to him, still kicking butt at age like 40-something, 50-something. I don't know, but good job, man. Russell Crowe, he's a very, very interesting character. Like I said, he is the Nick Fury. I don't want to say what character he is. You might have already seen it in the trailers, but for people who haven't, it's kind of a surprise in a way, and it's kind of uniquely done in a weird, different way that I have not seen like Universal Studios ever tackle this character before. The next thing that I really liked was the action. It was all around fun. It reminded me of some elements from the original Mummy, the very first one, but also it did something really cool. It had more horror elements in some scenes. Prior to that was also some comedy. They had a smush in there just to make sure it's not too super serious. But overall, the action was really fun. The last thing that I really enjoyed about this film was the ending, the last 5 to 7 minutes, because what they did to explain with the Tom Cruise and the Mummy's connection was very, very interesting, and I like how they executed, especially at the very ending, because I'm very excited with what they can do with Tom Cruise's character and possibly the Mummy's character for the next future installments. Things that I didn't really like at all. First of all, I want to get the biggest one out of the way, and that is the screenplay, written by 6 different screenwriters. That's a lot for this, and it definitely shows that this was written by a lot of people and they didn't really know what kind of movie they were trying to go for. Was it a comedy? Was it an action? Was it a horror? There were moments of both action and horror which I felt like they should have just stuck by. The comedy, yes, some of it was funny, but most of the time it was a huge miss, especially with Tom Cruise's side character. He was not good. I believe it's portrayed by Jack Johnson. Every single time that he was on screen, probably about the second half of the film, he was not funny. He had some good chuckles in the very first 10 minutes of it, but after that, I just wanted him to be gone. I did not enjoy his character at all. And frankly, they should just keep the action horror element, and that's why I respect Dracula Untold a little bit more than this movie, because they stuck with the tone, which was horror. Another thing that I really did not like was there was a lot of convenient things that happened in Tom Cruise's favor throughout the plot of the film. That kind of got under my skin and got really, really annoying. And yet again, I believe that's fault to the screenwriters and the screenplay throughout this entire film. Overall, this movie is fine. If you are looking for a fun time with a monster universe coming up ahead, I think it's worth the price if you're into that. If you're not, just don't even waste your time. My score for The Mummy is worth seeing once-ish. And if you want my specific grade for this score, it is a 6.4 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching this review. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and please don't forget to be blessed.